Hey, it's your girl. I'm back. I probably need to refine that or come up with some catchy jingle. This is only episode 3, so we'll continue to evolve and it'll get better. So it's been a minute. I know the last time we chatted, I was talking through my Chubby Girl Chronicle and my weight loss journey. So I just wanted to give you guys a quick update on what's been going on. It's March the 20th. Today's the first day of spring. I've done a 5K. I've traveled to Des Moines for work. So let's just kind of go through what's been going on in the life of KP over the past few weeks. I think it's been weeks. I was listening to and I follow Kev on stage, and I've also seen him perform his stand-up comedy here in San Antonio. And he talked about it's important to just put it out there. Consistency with talent. I hope that someone thinks this is some level of talent. I am confident that it is a gift and it is purposed, whatever that talent, and I'm doing air quotes, means. But consistency. So I have to get better at consistently delivering. So hold me accountable if you don't hear from me in a while. So I will say a few weeks ago, I was in my feelings. I was having a deep spiral with depression. And I don't know who struggles with that, who is a victor over that, but it happens. The time of the month with life and depression sends me into a hole. And it's very similar to the picture here. It is though I am at the bottom of a hole. And I have to figure out what are the best ways, what are my strategies, right? It's nothing new to me. It seemed to get more and more severe the older that I got. But I've really tried to find strategies to be successful when it comes to these moments in life. I've talked to my physician about it, and let me just disclaimer, I am not. So anything that I share is what I have learned works for me and what's successful for me. I have talked to my neurologist about depression and, ways to fight it and, diet and exercise. I try not to encourage the beast with caffeine and drinking and things like that. But I also know I can't undo it. So when someone says just get over it or it's not that bad, those are not helpful ways. I usually will reach out to the village, which is my sister and my nephew Brandon. They are super encouraging. They will help me through it. I'll text my mom. I'll talk to my other friends, some of my other girlfriends. And I have a great circle of people around me that encourage me and will check on me just to make sure things are okay. It's never been extremely drastic. This last episode, I recall sitting outside of my job for an hour crying, sobbing uncontrollably. It was as though I felt a burden, like there was a loss. I was grieving something, but everything was well. I know Jesus died for my sins, and my mom is super encouraging, and she's sending me scriptures. I too am listening to scriptures. I go to Thai tribute, and I go to music, gospel music, to really, keep me afloat. But I have to deal with it. I have to address it and understand, are there other factors that are contributing? Am I stressed with work? Are there deadlines? Once I can validate that in logic everything is okay, then I'm kind of good. I mean, I still go through it. I share with my children, like, hey, mom's having a bad day or an off day, for them to be patient with me. And maybe you might have to order pizza or cook something for us to eat. But I've learned it's okay. At work, I will share, it's just a down day. It's okay. And, so look here. So the feelings are real. They are absolutely 100% real. Allow no one to say that they're not. If you feel it, it is a thing. Ayanna Van Zant talks about, pain is pain, whether it's physical or not. There's a sign that something ain't right. And so whatever you have to do, and that's the next point, whatever you have to do, it's okay. If that means sitting outside of your job for an hour, crying in your car, marking people, talking, texting, whatever that is, whatever that is, I don't want to, exercising. Maybe you have 2 coffees. Maybe you go ahead and have a cookie in the morning for breakfast. Go for a run. Whatever you need to do, that is perfectly fine. Do what is necessary. Be sure to make people aware of what you're doing and what you think is necessary. Again, my bout with depression It's my own. It's such an individual journey. So just make sure that you keep people aware of what's going on so they can hold you accountable, and they can also check on you. And then, the last thought is the brighter days, they come. It makes me think of a lovely, lovely day, lovely day, lovely day. It comes. We have to go through these days to appreciate the good days. Every day. It took a few days. I want to say it was a Thursday when it started for me. And, I let my mom know and my family know. And so every day, I feel like I'm coming more and more out of this hole. Every day. It was as though, okay, I'm climbing up. I'm climbing up. And I'm able to appreciate those moments when I'm in the hole. Because one, I know that I'm always going to come out. I know where my source is. God is forever my rock, my stability, of which I stand. My life depends on, right? It's because of him. But to know that at some point you come out of it. But be patient with yourself as you do. If you have to take a day off work, whatever you have to do, like that is the most important advice I could give anyone, is whatever you feel like you have to do. And so every day my mom would check on me and I was, no, Mom, today's better. Nope, today's better. I couldn't even Marco Polo. For those of you who know, it's like video texting. It's a video message that you send back and forth. And she would mark me and I couldn't mark her back without being emotional and crying. So the very moment that I felt like I could, I did. And that's a success. And I count it as that. I don't shortchange it. I don't minimize when I have these moments. They are real in my life. I am thankful to God that they're not often, but it happens. But also, brighter days come. And, I also, I talked about my faith and knowing where my source comes from. And I forget where I found about this book, The I Factor. Someone might have suggested it to me. And if you're listening to this, thank you. My bad if I don't remember. But it was spot on. It was talking about the time in the wilderness and how it is purpose and intentional. And I felt like I was in a wilderness. So when I looked at, the pages and what I show here, trust that God knows what he is doing, even if I don't like it. That's the reality of the situation. So there are things that Keisha wants to happen. Keisha wants to see these things happen. On my mirror right now, it says, everything I need, I have. I don't have one unsatisfied need. So there could be things, on the, okay, God, this would be dope list. But everything that I need, every provision has already been provided. So I have to trust. I often say, trust the process and enjoy the journey. I preach that, but sometimes I have to walk it out myself. I have to trust the process. It is working at it as it is designed. And there was another part of the book, The I Factor, by Van Moody, that talks about, to humble you and to test you in order to know what was in your heart, whether or not you would keep his commandments. So sometimes it's a test. And when you're in the bottom of that hole, you're like, for the love of God, I can't stop crying. I don't want to eat. I don't want to talk to nobody. I just want to lay here and watch Netflix, or I just want to go to work and put my headphones on. You are in the place God has chosen as your testing ground. This is the place where God wants to strengthen you and solidify your sense of identity so you will have the internal resources you need for the good future he has planned for you. So again, that is the epitome. Trust the process and enjoy the journey. And as simple as it is to read, I was so encouraged. So encouraged. You have to find what works for you. Bottom line. Working out, praise and worship, reading. I did all of them. Reaching out to friends. Maybe a small indulgence and some chocolate affairs, right? Whatever that is for you. You have to be encouraged to know that what I'm going through is not in vain. This is bigger than me. This episode is so that I can tell my kids about it, so that I can talk to you all about it. This has nothing to do with Keisha. It is not a punishment. I'm not deserving of this, but it is where I am today. So God, help me to remain steadfast and help me to remain focused on the cross until I climb out of the hole. And, reading and really understanding, my mom laughs because I tell her I am cloaked with curiosity. I am so curious about this life I've been allowed to live. Why me? So then I turned to reading and I turned to understanding, and I love psychology. One day I'll be a counselor, family and marriage counseling. That's my jam. I'm cloaked with curiosity. So to read and to tie what I'm going through, so to tie intellect and knowledge with spirituality and reality, I was geeked. I think I might have posted some of this already on my Facebook because I love to understand. I'm so curious about life. And when I can read the word or read someone else's interpretation of the word about where I am and how I know that I'm going to come out. So it's reassurance. It is a confidence builder so that the next time I go back to the I Factor, or I go back to listen to this podcast, or I call my mom again, who is a great encourager. My mom, my sisters, all of my family, they're great encouragers. My friends, I just needed to cry. I went over my friend's house, and he allowed me just to cry, just to let it out. And as hard as that I know that it is for someone to see someone that they love and care about in that moment, I am grateful to have him in my life at that moment and at that time. Okay, let's keep this party going. So, again, I'm not a professed psychologist. I'm not a doctor. I would say you have to understand what works best for your journey. How do you get through what you're going through? It's taken me a while to kind of, and not even perfect, but to know I can call it out. I can sense, it's coming. There's nothing I can do to stop it. Try to clear my calendar as much as I can at work. And be honest. I share with my team that yesterday was a bad day. I almost cursed. Yesterday was not a good day. But today's better. Every day is better. So that's the joy, right? I look to the hills. So, I did want to share. I didn't want to not talk about depression and not share some resources. I am plagued every time I am grieved. My spirit is vexed every time I hear of anybody committing suicide. For sure, children 9 and 10 years old. So it's not a place of pointing blame or fingers. I know that my depression has not led me to that level, or to those thoughts. But if you are, here's some resources. You are loved. You're wanted. There's a text. I think I saw text on here. There's a trans lifeline, Trevor Project, suicide prevention lifeline. Call. My number is 434-426-0808. Call or text me. Again, I'm not a professional. I can pray with you. I can key with you. I can remind you of scriptures, and I can tell you that, trust me, it'll get better. I can be an encourager, but there's resources and whatever I can do to personally support. That's part of my calling too. We are here. This is our circle. This is a bigger village. This is the country. This is the us. Okay, let's keep this party going. In addition, what else have I been up to? I ran a 5K for multiple sclerosis. I took a trip to Des Moines, and spring is here. So my sister, the picture in the top left, that's my sister Annette. She and I ran the 5K. I'll get into that. We raised over $300 in a short amount of time for multiple sclerosis. It is near and dear to your girl's heart. It was at Texas A&M. The weather was nice. Annette did bring Bruno, her Chihuahua dog, whom set us up for failure. He began walking so proudly in his Adidas tracksuit. I look over, she's carrying him. Where am I in? So at some point I'll offer, give me the dog. Nah, we're done. So we didn't get to finish, but we got in, I think, a mile and some change. And bottom line, we raised the money. I got to spend some time with my sister. So it was definitely a win-win. Be on the lookout next year. We're going to each year commit to do bigger and better. So our goal, we hit $300 this year. Next year, maybe we'll shoot for $550, double it, right? $600. So that was, I did that in March the 9th. And then I went to Des Moines for work. I love traveling for work. I love to be able to meet other members of my team and to catch up with my peers. It was a good visit. It was, It was good. The weather, it wasn't cold there. They still had snow on the ground. The temperatures were somewhat warm, which caused some flooding. But trying to get back to San Antonio, my initial flight was supposed to leave at 11. We ended up not leaving until 5. Got to Dallas and then got home, Ubered about 1:30. So it was a long day. But I am grateful. Sitting in the airport, this was last Thursday. Des Moines spring break is this week. So a lot of people were trying to get out to go on vacation for spring break. So I was grateful. Waiting for me were my two almost grown children. So it wasn't although I was inconvenienced, I had my iPad and my Netflix and I watched The Fosters. So it wasn't too bad. And then spring is here. Today is the first day of spring. Whoop, whoop. That is an absolute thing.
Season, and it's a new day. Fresh anointing. Not the old stuff, not the old stuff.
I love to interject music into these into this podcast, but we all know and love a good Israel and the new breed. It's a new season. I am mindful of seasons. They have been meaningful in my life, and they give me delineation between one season to the next. And here it was 75, 76 degrees today. The trees are budding, and it's just it affirms, right? Or it sets apart. It gives cause to refocus, new energy. So I do enjoy a new season. There's a picture of me and the girls who went out for some Mexican Tex-Mex for dinner today and sat on the patio. But I love it. I absolutely love the refocusing, the re-energizing, the intention to know that this is the season for things to grow and bloom. And old things have withered and died, and now it's time for rebirth and regrowth. And new growth makes me think of when you get a perm, like, oh, my new growth. So that's not a good thing. But was open the windows and vacuum and cut the grass. And I love blue skies and sunny weather. That's my jam. And I live in a place where we have that more times than not. I think we have 300 days of sun. So I love spring and summer. And although we have lots of 100 plus degree weather days, I love it. There's something about a blue sky that floats my boat. I haven't said that one in a long time, right? That's kind of a throwback. Today was challenging for me. My emotional intelligence was not where I would have preferred it. But getting off, listening to some music with the windows down on the highway, blue sky, it was nice. Hanging out with my girls. Spring is here. And yeah, spring is here. It's almost prom season here in San Antonio. Graduation, if I haven't mentioned it, it is June the 10th at 2 p.m. at the Alamo Dome. I am so excited. I'm so proud of my daughter. I'm so excited, but I'm proud of me. She is my last child in high school, and I'm grateful to God, and He knows it. But it's a new season. Spring is among us. I am smiling. I don't know if the smile is being conveyed into what I'm saying, but I am elated for the new season and an opportunity to, spring clean and wash your linens and just refresh and renew. That's absolutely a thing. I was talking to my best friend last night, and she shared this quote with me. I tried to find the original origin, but I could not. But she shared that it's okay to leave the window open, just don't sit in front of it. And, speaking about spring and windows open and fresh linens, it's okay to not want to shut the door on something, whatever that one thing is, the degree, writing a book, Lord help me, a relationship, pursuing a job. It's okay to leave the window absolutely open and allow possibility and chance to still come through. Just don't sit there and watch it. The old adage is a boiled pot never, no, a boiling pot never boils. No, a watch pot. Okay, I'm messing up. A watch pot never boils. And the same as, I would think the same holds true for this saying, to sit there and wait. Don't, waiting and wasting time are two different things. Waiting can be filled with self-development, opportunities, making yourself better, self-love. Whereas wasting time is just that. I think about, I've been in San Antonio for 6 years, and I've taken a few classes for my master's. I have published a book. I'm now working on my second book. Lord, y'all pray. Pray for Chubby Girl Chronicles. pray for her. It's coming. It's coming. Met some amazing people. I hope and believe that I could see measurable differences in who I was 6 years ago. But I would encourage you guys to do the same. Don't waste time, right? Yes. Waiting and wasting are two different things. And this quote blessed me, because sometimes as a woman we feel guilty, like we have to shut the door and move on. And I trust God's timing. And just as I shared earlier, we have to trust the process and enjoy the journey. That's what we're called to do. That's the directive. I talk about that at work a lot. That is the absolute directive, is trust the process and enjoy the journey. So, that's been what I've been up to. I have had a bout with depression. I have run a 5K. I had some trip time and some work business trip time in Des Moines, and spring is here. So I am grateful for each and every one of you for taking some time out of your day to listen to this. I hope that it has blessed you in some way or another. Keep me in your prayers, and I will keep you in mind. And I've seen a lot of memes that talk about, people say that. And when someone tells me to pray for them, I stop immediately. I don't have prayer time, and maybe people do. But if someone says, can you pray for me? If they're in my presence, I'll say, do you want to pray together? Or if I get a text, something's going on, please pray. I will immediately take a moment to pray for them. I am grateful for the opportunity to share some of my life with you guys. It is a blessing, but also transparently, right? Someone else was talking about, Facebook reality or Instagram reality. My life is just as great as it looks on Facebook and Instagram. But I didn't post any pictures about being depressed. So, I didn't post a lot about the weight loss struggle. So, and there's more to come, but I just wanted to catch you guys up. I will commit to be more consistent with my deliveries. I hope that you all have a great first day of spring. Renewal, new growth, regrowth, fertilizing, tilling the ground, planting seeds, whatever you want to attribute or connect to this spring season, I encourage you to do so. Just be great. There's a lot of things you can be. just be great. And with that, KP's out.